Hi everyone, welcome back to Through the Eyes of a Therapist YouTube channel. I'm Crystal Martinez Acosta, licensed professional counselor, host and creator of Through the Eyes of a Therapist podcast. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the show The Doctors, and they have a small segment about the mental workload of moms. So let's see what they have to say about the second shift for moms.
When it comes to women desperately needing more free time, a lot of it could be because they're carrying a bigger burden at home as well, and a lot of people may not realize it, but a new study found that most married women still carry the bulk of responsibility for the household, even if they work a full-time job.
That is absolutely true. Most married women carry the mental load of the home. We're project managers of the home. And if there's children, it makes it more complex, more complicated, and there's more of a workload. And I don't know if it's that we want more free time or time to ourselves. We need more support, is what it is.
And of course, that can negatively affect their health in so many different ways. And you're nodding your head, and we're talking about how juggling all that for you as a working mother is difficult.
Absolutely.
So they're interviewing this woman. I don't know who she is, but yeah, juggling work life and then home life is stretching us. It's spreading us too thin. I remember reading about something called the second shift back in like my psychology class in high school. So why do they need a current study to tell us that this is causing health problems for moms? I don't understand. It's pretty obvious.
So I think the number of women nodding their heads in agreement in the audience. I mean, this is our life, right? Even though 46% of households now in the United States have dual working parents, the women always have this invisible burden of feeling responsible for their house and responsible for their kids. And I think a lot of it is fueled by guilt, because you asked me this earlier.
Yes, I agree. So the audience is agreeing with her, like, yes, that's me. She's a dermatologist, so she's a working mom. So that's how she's qualified to talk about this. But I think that it's important to remember that guilt for moms, I think, comes from the patriarchy. It's an oppressive system that wants women to look a certain way, to behave a certain way, to get married to a man. And so many of those factors have changed over time. And like she said, there are two income earners in most households. So why do we, the second income earner or the first income earner, also worry about the house, also worry about the kids, and it's only us? Why?
Because you asked me this earlier, like what fuels this mentality? Because like I said, I have an incredibly wonderful, supportive, loving husband who's a surgeon. We've been married for 15 years. He's super busy. But I think the difference in our mentalities is that when he does something for the kids of the household, and I'm sorry if you're watching this, love,
Why is she apologizing? She's probably just gonna spit facts. So I don't think she should apologize for calling him out on national television.
sort of think you're doing me a favor, versus I feel like that's my job. Like, I'm always thinking about my kids. I'm always like, did I pack their lunch this morning? Am I accounting for their after school activity? Did they have this play date? Like, it's just, I'm always keeping that mental schedule of the house and the kids and the this. And I think
so she's totally describing the mental load of a mom and how most women identifying people in homes do keep track of things like, what medication is my kid taking? What time do I need to take them to school? What is their after school activity require today? Is it a uniform? Do I have to wash this? Do I have to clean that? Do I have to pack this? Do they need a snack? What about the car seat? What about this? What if they get sick, right? All of these things we have to know. And I think that many of us women in marriages with partners who aren't necessarily helping with the mental load carry a lot more information and scheduling and tracking. Again, project managers of the home. We're project managers of the home. And that's what she's describing here, even though she has a loving, supportive, caring husband who's also very busy. She's very busy too. She's a doctor too. So interesting, right?
And I think women carry that invisible burden all the time, no matter how equal.
So guys out there, we're not cavemen anymore. We got to get out of that cave, and we have to help out.
Yeah.
And it's not about being a caveman. It's about being a man-child, in my opinion. I think that if a man comes home, for example, after a busy day at work and is like, hey, what do you need me to help out with? First of all, that statement I think would be infuriating, because it's like, how about you walk in and assess the situation and see what needs doing around here? Second of all, I'm not going to delegate tasks to you because I'm not your manager. We're supposed to be co-owners in this household and in this relationship. So the fact that you're asking me to delegate to you suggests that I am the home project manager. I have the mental load. I know everything that is happening in the home because that's part of my job duties as the main project manager. If you think about it in terms of employment, right? People who are project managers have kind of like a higher position and get paid more because of the mental load, because it costs more for them to keep track of all of these exhausting details. And the employees who execute the work might not get paid as much because they don't have to worry about all those things. They just do the job that is assigned to them. So there's that.
And do it proactively. Like, don't ask your female or your female significant other, what can I do to help you? Because we're like really stubborn too. Like for me, even just learning how to ask him to do stuff, and also to rely on my support network to keep my days going for my kids and for my family, was really hard. Because women like to feel like we can do it all, and it's almost like a matter of pride not to delegate. So
okay, yeah, sure. That's a separate issue though, I think. Like if you have difficulty asking for help, that can definitely feed into this problem, but why ask for help? The husband or the man or the person that identifies as a man in the relationship in this traditional sense does need to be proactive, does need to do an assessment as if he is a co-project manager coming into the place and being like, what chaos is this? I'm going to take initiative without being told what to do. Like they should have the skill to be able to see, oh gosh, there's chaos in here. Let me start cooking dinner, or let me sweep up that pile of stuff on the floor. Let me pick up dog vomit that hasn't been picked up. You know what I mean? Like, why does the delegation need to happen? First of all. Second of all, if you have difficulty asking for help, stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Just ask for help. It's a support network. It is a support system that we rely on to keep our mental health intact and to prevent going insane. You know, I think that asking for help is a really important quality for any project manager. So it's not just about delegation, but it's also knowing your limitations as a person and understanding that there are going to be some things that you're good at and some things that you're not good at. We're not even going to get into the issue of like neurodiverse moms or people who have ADHD trying to do project management in the home, right? Because then more things I think slip through the cracks, but those are more opportunities for men to step up and take initiative and just do the things that need to be done. And like she said earlier, when she feels like her husband is doing a favor by watching the kids or babysitting them for a second, excuse me, sir, you are also their biological parent. Let's try to be as egalitarian as possible in this household. This has gotten me riled up.
You're so old school that men just weren't capable of doing anything, helping with the kids or cooking a meal or getting their own coffee or whatever. Have to break that cycle.
absolutely, and doing it.
And that cycle again is from the patriarchy.
Doing it just spontaneously and proactively, intrinsically, the way women do. Like not even thinking about it, but making it automatic. And frankly, you know, that old adage about happy wife, happy life, I think whenever that does come into play, and you know, I wake up in the morning and my husband's already given the kids breakfast, I'm a happy wife. Like our day is so much.
Exactly. So if my husband has taken the initiative without me having to tell him anything or man child him and tell him what he needs to do in the house. And he, again, like in this example, wakes up, gives the kids breakfast, wakes up, and before I wake up, lets me sleep in. Listen to my language matters. Lets me sleep in and is sweeping the floor or has already done the dishes or has taken the dogs out for a walk and picked up the poop and whatever, right? Like things that I don't have to do, things that he's checking off of the master household checklist without me having to nag him for it, then that will make for a happier partner and a happier co-manager, right? Because one manager is not doing all of the work, not carrying all of the mental load, right? So even something as simple as writing down the grocery list for us instead of me keeping track of what do we need? Do we run out of milk? What about the butter? What about the baby food? If the dad or the male in this traditional sense writes those things down, he is taking parts of the mental load off of the mom. And yes, happy wife, happy life, right? This can definitely affect relationship dynamics.
I think we can tell all of the men out there tomorrow morning, wake up a little early, make the kids breakfast, make your wife breakfast, do the things and what we'll call invisible labor, where, you know, a lot of times women will do all these things and they don't necessarily get the credit for it. So men out there, have tomorrow be the day, right, Drew?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just be the day to do it like once, do it from now on. And also, the mental load is not just doing chores, the mental load is keeping track of things. Hey, babe, you know that tomorrow our son has practice. I already packed his bag. I already know that he needs a snack, so I put the goldfish in a baggie for you so that all you have to do is when you leave, get everything out of the fridge and put it in his bag. Like the prepping steps, the lists, the I know what vaccine he got on what date so that if I have to take him to the doctor, I already know. I don't have to call you and ask you when the last time he got this vaccine was, for example, right? So the keeping track, the prep, and then the doing part too is important, right? But the knowing and having the general sense of this is what is happening in the household with the kids is the mental load. Okay, so especially for working moms, give us a break, please.
Yeah.
Unless you go home and your stuff's already on the curb.
Unless you go home and your stuff's already on the curb. That was your own doing, bro. Your own doing. But anyway, tell me what you think of the mental load. This is just my perspective as a mental health professional and how the mental load and that uneven distribution of work can definitely affect a relationship and start to cause resentment and ruptures in relationships. And let me know, do you carry most of the mental load in your home? Do you share it with your spouse and partner? How does that work in your house? And for more mental health content through the eyes of a therapist, subscribe and like. And remember to click all the social links in the description. See you soon.